Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character and random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. So in my last video I lied to everyone and nobody has called me out on it yet, probably because I haven't yet posted that video at time of recording, so you haven't had a chance to. But I discovered right after recording that video that I have in fact already played the Chunky. That was not one of the two characters that I haven't played for these random weapon challenges. So you got a bonus Chunky video, so congratulations. The two characters that I haven't played for random weapon challenges are Brawler and Well-Rounded, as it turns out. So we're going to be going to Brawler next, continuing my way back up the list here. Since I'm just filling out the last couple characters that I haven't yet rolled randomly, we would be here for what's the average time it would take me to roll one of those two if I just randomed? It's like 30 rolls, something like that. So let's not all sit here and do that. We will instead just play the Brawler, then I'll do something special for the Well-Rounded, and we can finish out this series, or at least this series for now. I will be continuing on with the series, doing characters we've already done, but this will be one of every character that makes sense to random, and then we'll stop and take stock and go over my win rates and stuff that I've learned while doing the series, because that just sounds kind of fun. Alright, for Brawler, I used Fist for my character guide for Brawler, so we are either rolling with Hand or Claw. It's a coin flip here, and let's just see which one we get. These two will play out quite differently, so I'm very interested to see which we get, and we got Claw. Alright, so Claw is probably the easier of the two, although I think Hand is pretty interesting, and I'm very likely, I think, to do a hand-based Brawler weapon challenge. I was like kind of hoping we'd roll Hand for this, honestly, but random weapons are what they are. I'll probably do a Brawler with Hand challenge because I think that sounds kind of fun as well. But for Claw, we just need to build attack speed. We have additional attack speed. The plus 50% attack speed with ranged unarmed weapons does not work with the Claw's base damage, I don't believe. I will check that once we get into the game here. We start with a Fist, and this gives us unarmed and precise weapon tags, which are great, extra dodge, and just lots of extra attack speed. Brawler should be a relatively straightforward run. I think this is one of the stronger characters in the game in general. So once again, I'm going to focus this commentary a little more on helping people get their first Danger 5 win, if that's something that they are looking for. Claw's base damage, yeah, so you can see our 50%, it's still doing 5 base damage, so the 50% is not affecting it right now. I will just take the 2 melee damage. It scales 50% for the Claw, so while we do lose 2 harvesting, which is kind of painful, I think it's worth picking up the charcoal here. And then I'm going to reroll this and try to repair that harvesting. I don't really want to be losing money every round, but I think it's still worth picking that up just for the extra melee damage. I'm then going to immediately recycle the Fist, since we got Claw as our random weapon, not Fist, so we have to buy that, and I will take Claw. I'm going to lock the Weird Food. Do I want 3 melee damage from the Goat Skull? I don't think so. Obviously, we'd take the melee damage, but crit chance is one of the things that this build will get, thanks to being a precise weapon, and also we don't want to... we don't gain as much benefit from buying melee damage since we only scale 50% here. I'm going to re-roll this and re-roll this. Still looking for more Claws. I will probably take this plant. I just like plant a lot. It's so cheap, so it's often worth buying. And this will be a regeneration-based build. And then we can buy another Claw here. Even with the bonus attack speed from Brawler, I think you still just want to be regeneration on this build because it's a melee character. And melee characters, I usually much prefer doing regeneration to lifesteal. I know different people have different preferences for that, but for me, it's easier with regeneration because you aren't constantly attacking with melee characters. If you get into trouble, you have to back away from enemies, and I want to still have the option to heal when that happens. 4 melee damage is just plus 2 damage to all our weapon attacks, so that's great. And then let's re-roll and find a couple more Claws if we can, which we did. Awesome. And then I've got these 2 items locked, and no other decisions to make, so let's jump into the next wave. The unarmed weapon tag means that we are going to have 30% base dodge, thanks to the Brawler's 15 dodge and the unarmed weapon tag's 15 dodge. So that's just a lot of dodge for this character. We will be able to reach dodge cap very quickly. So that means that armor and HP that we buy is even better, and health that we buy is even better, because it's multiplying effectively a much higher number. Not great income for these waves, honestly. I was kind of expecting more, but we just need a little more attack speed. I'll take percent damage, though. And then let's re-roll this, and here I will take 8 harvesting. It's early enough that we can still benefit a lot from the harvesting. By the plant and the weird food, do I want 10% attack speed on the small magazine? So 10% attack speed is also basically buying 1 flat damage for this character, 1.5. We lose 6% damage, which is definitely a downside, but all attack speed is so good for this character that it's often worth considering buying this anyways. I think if we wouldn't have to lock it and therefore lose a shop slot and everything, there's a strong chance that I would buy that, but as is, I'm just going to reroll and look for better items for us. And here I will take the Peaceful Bee. Yes, we lose 1 melee damage, which, because we only get 50% damage scaling on claws from melee damage, is only half a damage, but that gets us even closer to dodge cap and gets our harvesting higher, so that's great. And then here we can lock a claw and another Peaceful Bee. Ugly Tooth on this character, I think is probably going to be worth picking up, especially because we found it for fairly cheap, and that will help us keep bosses in place until we get a decent level of attack speed and get the base damage of these weapons higher. We will struggle a little in terms of damage, so it'll be nice to have our damage increasing, or our ability to stop enemies from following us. Alright, you always want to hunt down the ranged enemies on this wave because they are more likely to drop consumables, and those consumables are in turn more likely to turn into materials. In fact, here I'm going to take some luck. We already have 2 consumable healings, so consumable drops are great. We're going to be right on top of all the enemies, so we'll pick up consumables from them, and luck is just a great stat to get going early, so I'm investing in that early to improve our economy. Buy all of these, and then let's reroll, and reroll again, and then I'm going to lock this claw, lock this dangerous bunny. Now I might buy the goat skull just for more base damage, but I think I'm going to pass on that. I'm just going to go to the next wave. Our max HP definitely needs some help. 15 is not exactly where you want to be at this point. I think the first thing I would take is a little harvesting just to get us over 20. The next thing I would take is max HP and regeneration. And then I guess I'd buy attack speed over just about everything, though, at the moment. Always good to think about like what your priorities for stats are while you're playing, especially if you're not having to really focus, although I now need to really focus because I tanked a hit that I definitely should not have. That means I left a bunch of materials on the ground that we shouldn't have needed to leave on the ground, because I took that hit, so I had to play more cautiously and couldn't go pick them up. I'm going to take this melee damage, and then here we'll take the max HP just so we don't die. A bunch of great items for us. This is all excellent. I don't think we can afford all of them, but let's go with the claw and upgrade another claw, buy the dangerous bunny, and then we're just slightly short, but I'll lock the head injury because the percent damage is useful. Our move speed is pretty bad. I do want to increase my luck, but I think I should still buy the Terrified Onion here, just to get my speed back above 0. 0 speed is really hard to, or below 0 speed is really hard to play with, so it's worth prioritizing getting that to a reasonable value a lot. Especially because we're going to go into an elite fight fairly early in this setup, I think, if I'm remembering the pattern correctly. Great. Even with only 4 luck or 6 luck, whatever we have here, we still picked up a crate, and that's awesome. Ooh, loot alien. I don't think we're going to have the damage to kill it. Oh, nice. Got it right at the end. All right, that's awesome. Black belt is great for us, obviously. Yes, we lose luck, but it's still early enough that the XP gain is a big deal, and the melee damage is, of course, useful. And then I will suffer a little bit of reduced crit chance to get all of these other incredible stats that we want. And then in this shop, sorry about the cut in the video, I had to step away to take care of something, but just coming back to this shop, we are going to either buy 4 melee damage or 5 attack speed, Regeneration is actually not terrible, but I think we'll just giving us 2 flat damage is the best thing, so I'll just take those. Here I'm going to be very happy to grab a Cute Monkey. This is going to give us a lot of extra healing, an additional plant, and a head injury, and then I'm going to reroll. And then we could try to buy Baby Elephant. We have almost no luck currently, though, so I don't think it's worth investing in that right now. Upgrade our Claw, and then more melee damage with the Charcoal. I don't think it's worth buying Charcoal. I picked it up when it was free, but I think buying it would be a bad idea. I'm starting to think also, actually, that I should not have picked up that Charcoal Wave 1, because that cost me a lot of harvesting over the course of the game, just like a lot of money. So I probably should have just recycled it for 5. The melee damage wasn't that valuable. Oh, I should definitely be letting these eggs hatch. We've got plenty of damage, I think, to kill the slashers, so we can let the eggs hatch and get a little more money that way. That guy got a drive-by heal in the middle of me killing him, so he lasted a little longer. Luck is one of the things we need the most. Attack speed is the thing I need the most, though, just to increase my damage output, both base damage and the frequency with which I attack, of course. Peaceful Bee is a great find here, increases our harvesting, gets our dodge higher, and I'll just take 6% dodge. This way we're almost at dodge cap quite early. Here, I could reroll looking for more attack speed or more damage of some kind, but I think I'd better just take the max HP here. Our 29 max HP was far too low. I'll buy the Lemonade, but I'm actually going to pass on the rest of these. We won't need more damage from Alien Eyes, and all of these cost me too much in economy to be worth buying right now. I will take the Recycling Machine. I will take the Claw as well. I'm actually going to buy the Banner. The increased range isn't a big deal, but with 0 attack speed, this is going to be a big multiplier to our damage, and of course increases the base damage of our weapons by a lot, so it's very much worth picking that up. And then here I will buy another Claw, lock this Claw, lock this Lemonade, and I guess I will lock the Gambling Token as well, so we can try to hit dodge cap quickly. I'll need to repair my armor at some point, because we'll be at 0, but still very good to get that rolling early. If you can get to dodge cap quite early, then it just makes your character so much safer. And makes all the regen, armor, and HP that you find in the future that much more powerful. Break that tree, and then run around here. So you can see, with our reasonable dodge chances, we're now able to tank a few more hits than we otherwise would be able to. I currently can't play super aggressively yet, because my healing isn't that amazing, and our dodge chance is good, but not, like, incredible. But it still just lets us stay in the center of the arena fighting for longer. Here, I could take 6 melee damage, but I think our base damage on our weapons is going to go up a lot just as soon as I find any attack speed, so I'm just going to take the luck here. I really do want to get that back to a reasonable level, and it's currently quite weak, so we're going to just buy that. We will combine and grab another Claw here, take the Gambling Token and the Lemonade, take our free reroll. Broken Mouth is great. Riposte is also great, since we've got such good dodge, so given that I've locked 2 items, I'm just going to sit with Broken Mouth and Riposte here. Would have liked to find a little more luck before going into this wave. You can often get a lot of crates this wave if you have decent luck, just because there's so many enemies on the field, so you have a lot of chances to roll crates. +7 healing on our consumables means that we are quite safe in general when we are getting hit by enemies, because we are very likely to generate consumables from every group of enemies, since there's so many enemies on the field. That's another reason, of course, that I want to increase my luck. Took a couple hits there, so I do need to back off and grab a fruit, kill that tree. Take a couple more hits, and, you know, we'll run over here and pick up that consumable. You should always try to remember where the consumables that you've left on the ground are, so that if you need to, you can run to them. Like, I know there's one down to the bottom left if I need to run to it. Not great income this level, honestly. falling a little behind in terms of money making. You kind of expect like 500 from level 5, but we have had a weird time getting good economy on this character, so we're a little behind where I'd like to be. I'll take the 10 luck here, and then I'll just take 4 regeneration. That puts my healing up to a much more reasonable level. Take the bag, of course. If I'd gotten that a little earlier, it would be worth more money, but it's still just going to pay for itself massively. Take Broken Mouth and Riposte and roll. And let me combine and buy the Claw. I'm not going to buy Acid, even though I do want to increase my max HP. I really want to keep our dodge high. And then here, so here's a spot where I'm just going to buy the small magazine because it's a ton of flat damage, and yes, I lose some percentage damage, but this is going to increase our overall damage a lot. It's just worth picking up. Blood Leech I'm not going to buy. It's just too expensive for what it gives us here. Handcuffs is always interesting at this point. I think we will not buy it, but 8 melee damage is kind of fun. Capping at 46 HP, of course, would be too big a penalty, and the 8 melee damage is only worth 4 base damage on these weapons, so it's not that helpful. Hedgehog would cost me a regen, but give me 1 damage on all my weapons. Is that worth picking up? Probably. Just, I think our weapon damage is a little low, so I'm going to prioritize getting that going. I actually think a lot of the difficulties, not that this has been a hard build or anything, but of the struggles that we have had with this build so far, I think a lot of them come down to the decision to buy that charcoal level 1. That has cost me a lot of money, and that does snowball. It's always interesting to think about sort of how those very small decisions can affect your entire game. One thing that I get a lot as a comment from people who are unreasonably angry is, how do you get so lucky in these runs? And of course, you know, I do a lot of runs. Some of them I get luckier than others. But often the answer to how do I get so lucky in these runs is I made better decisions. I bought the right things. And so what you're seeing as luck is in fact the result of careful decision making. Here I'm just going to take the 3 armor, because we really need armor, and here the attack speed is way better than anything else. We finally found a good attack speed level up, which is what I've been hoping for this whole time. The fact that we haven't found a coffee or anything like that is kind of sad. Just any increased attack speed would be a big deal, but now our weapons do way more damage because we increased our attack speed, and our attacks are much faster as well. Claw, yes. I'm going to pass again on the Goat Skull, because I do want to start increasing my crit chance. The question is, do I want Bowler Hat? This does hurt our damage a lot, but I think I will still buy it. Just the economy stats at this point in the game are still really worth it, so I'm going to pick that up. Lure is going to be great, of course, both for the money, the crates, and of course the regeneration, which we need more of as well. And then I'll do one more reroll here. I'm going to take the alien magic. We don't need alien tongue. I don't think pickup range is that important to this build, but I will, even at the cost of luck, buy HP and regeneration because we need that for sure. The first couple rib cages, when they spawn on this level, you should be able to just hunt them down and kill them before they can get fast at all. And I think that that's very much worth doing, because that means just a lot less pressure that you are facing in the middle of the run. Obviously, it depends on your build. If you have a low damage build, you won't be able to, but for a high damage build, it's very much worth doing that so that you don't have to pay attention to them once they've gotten fast. That's always an interesting thing to me when, and you know, since I started doing YouTube, or since I was doing YouTube a decade ago and started doing it again recently, I get exposed to a lot of different people's takes on how to evaluate strategic choices. And something I see very, very frequently is people not understanding how one decision leads to what decisions they have available in the future. Well-designed games will connect your decisions together to make sure that your previous decisions affect what future options you have. And so people will always say, like, I just never saw this stat or whatever, and one reason that they never saw that stat is that they didn't put themselves in a position to be able to look for it because they didn't get the economy they needed or whatever. That's specific to Brotato, but it's just true often that people have a hard time drawing lines between strategic decisions that they've made in the past and how that affects what decisions they have available in the future. Something to always keep in mind when you're trying to make choices. Let's take the attack speed here. I think just the increased damage is going to be worth more than anything else, and I will definitely take Tentacle. That gets our crit chance back up towards a more reasonable level. Alien Magic and Metal Plate are also really good. Let's reroll here. I'll take another bag, sure. And then I think just because I'm going into Wave 12, I maybe should buy going into an elite fight, I maybe should buy the Goat Skull. It will slightly increase the base damage of my weapons and the average damage of my weapons. So yeah, let's pick that up. I can fix the crit chance later. Go find this elite. We slow it down with the Ugly Tooth, so we should be able to just chase it down. And our damage should be high enough that we can kill it quickly. That's one reason I just wanted to focus on getting as much damage as possible, like, immediately, is just so we can burst it down as fast as possible, get our full heal from the red crate, and then go back to farming the waves. This is a great wave for us. Just got to kill that elite really quick. Hopefully we get a good item out of it. Still not making the most money, honestly, but we did get one of the best possible items for us in Retromation's hoodie. This is a great item because the attack speed increase is very high since we have very high dodge, and it also increases the base damage of our weapons. And in fact, I'm just going to buy 6 dodge, go up to dodge cap, and then that has maxed out Retromation's hoodie, although you can continue to get more attack speed by buying dodge over the dodge cap. You'll still get more attack speed from that, even if you won't benefit from the dodge. Definitely take a lure here, and I'm going to pass on the charcoal. Let's reroll. Mastery is great. Missile, I'm not going to pick up the percent damage, although our percent damage is really low, and our attack speed's now really high. Actually, I will take the missile. I think that's going to increase our DPS more. Just because our percent damage is so low that it's very valuable to increase it. Then I'll definitely take Cyclops Worm as well. I didn't realize I only had 8% damage. Well, suddenly my attacks are doing a lot more damage because our attack speed is very high now. So you might be wondering on this like attack speed focused build why I still like to buy regeneration instead of lifesteal. And the answer is basically if you get in trouble and need to run away from the enemies, you want to be healing because getting in trouble usually involves taking a bunch of damage all in a row. On melee characters, especially short-range melee characters like the Brawler, if you're lifesteal based, then when you run away from all the enemies, you won't be healing consistently, whereas range characters will still be healing since they'll still be attacking. So in general, I have found it better to have lifesteal on range characters and regeneration on melee characters. It's not a hard rule, and it's going to depend significantly on what your builds are, but I think that is a good rule of thumb. I'm going to recycle this. I don't think the XP gain matters at this point, and the 3 melee damage is much less relevant than it was before, and we have a recycling machine. I often take Book when it shows up in a crate, even if I'm not an engineering build, just because it future-proofs us against finding Fairy, and just gives us another unique level 1 item. Here, though, it's worth 18 to recycle, so I'll still buy that. When it's cheap like this, I am still going to take the lifesteal. No, we have -4 lifesteal. We'll just recycle that. Coffee is the best item possible for this character, so we'll pick that up, and then more attack speed. Bloody Hand. Now, this is the way to buy lifesteal. I kind of wish I'd bought that butterfly now, of course, but the Bloody Hand will still give us 16% damage and 8% lifesteal. Taking 1 damage per second is not a big deal at all, so I'm going to pick that up for sure. Buy all of these, and then reroll. Fairy is going to be plus 10 regen, so yeah, that's still good enough. Not the most amazing fairy in the world, but still just good. And then here we can pick up another bag, which will definitely pay for itself. Broken Mouth I want for sure. And Baby Elephant, we still don't have a lot of luck, but it's now a regen for fairy as well, so I could consider buying it. I don't think it's worth locking, though. Now I basically just need max HP. This is like the only stat that we need any of. Our damage is great. Our defensive stats other than max HP are good. More armor would be nice. But max HP is kind of the only stat we're actually missing. So we've got incredible healing. We've got incredible offense. So I'll buy lifesteal, I'll buy max HP. Suddenly, we do want to be a lifesteal build, of course, because we have Bloody Hand, which changes the calculus immensely, naturally. And now that we have the Bloody Hand, we really want to be in the thick of all the enemies as much as possible, just constantly attacking so that we can constantly be lifestealing. Our HP regeneration is not quite high enough. It makes up for the 1 damage per second that we're taking, but not that and getting hit. So we want to make sure we're doing both. Both lifesteal and regeneration. Alien Worm is 3 HP and 3 regeneration. It cost me a consumable heal, which is very valuable, but we have a lot of consumable heal, so I think I will buy the Alien Worm here. This is a very rare purchase from me, not an item I buy often, but I think in this specific spot it's good. Take the 3 armor here, and then I definitely don't want to decrease our dodge, but I will buy Broken Mouth and Shady Potion. Roll again. Rip and Tear. Yeah, we've got good melee damage, so the Rip and Tear will just help us do more damage. Landmine is worth a regeneration as well, so I could pick this up for 1 regen from the fairy. Would I buy 1 regen for 50? Probably not. We've really ended up not with any critical hit synergies in this build. And not that much critical hit, which is interesting for a precise build, but that's just sort of how it came together. This Horde wave is very easy, especially because we have the Rip and Tear, but also because we've got all this lifesteal. But this is a great wave for us, of course. And we should make, I don't know, 700, 800 off of this wave. Yep, 770. I don't think we need the garden. I'm just going to recycle it. Statue is terrible. We're going to recycle that. Here, I'm just going to take the armor. I could buy more attack speed, but we have 180 attack speed. I think armor is going to be what stops us from dying more often, and max HP is what I need as well. Upgrade our claws, buy a mushroom, which is also another unique, so that's 4 regeneration. Cake is going to be great here as well. I don't want a Toxic Sludge. Let's reroll. Leather Vest, another premium item for this character that we hadn't found up until now, but I will still buy it. This is also just worth 12% attack speed, right? Because the dodge does still work. And then let's upgrade to a level 4 Claw, which gets 30% of our attack speed as base damage, which is amazing. Claw and another Rip and Tear. We can get more explosions. Sad Tomato, sure. And then, still don't need the handcuffs. Let's go to the next wave. A little more lifesteal would be nice for the Bloody Hand, but honestly, we could stop buying items entirely and still win this run very easily. This build is basically finished already. But let's see how strong we can get. That's actually a kind of a fun idea for a challenge run. Like you have to stop buying items at wave 15 challenge run. I might do one of those at some point. Because I think there's a lot of builds that you can put together. Like, it's hard, but there's a lot of builds like this one you can put together that will just be strong enough after the wave 15 shop to make it all the way to 20. Sure, I'll take the improved tools, I think. No, I just don't have any structures, and it's just so expensive for that much attack speed. Let's just focus on items that will actually help us. Peaceful Bee is interesting because it's actually going to increase my damage thanks to retromations. So we'll pick that up. Normally not a damage increase for most characters, but for this one it is. Claw, yes, and reroll. Mouse, definitely. And then that's it that we want from here. This is actually, because I have the sad tomato and this boss charges at you directly, this is one we could lose to. Or could have lost to. If I had tanked like 1 or 2 more hits there. The Crocodile Elite is actually very dangerous for melee characters. This build has enough damage that we were able to just hunt it down. But the reason it's so tough for melee characters is that you have to stay next to it to DPS it down. Ranged characters can just sidestep it and kill it very easily. So I think that Elite is the one that differs the most in terms of how easy it is for melee and how easy it is for ranged. I think that it's basically a free Elite for most ranged characters, and very, very difficult for most melee characters. See what we get here. Sure, Exoskeleton's going to be good. This is obviously just a great set of stats for us, even though we don't use the engineering. I really don't need more attack speed. I'm going to reroll for regeneration or lifesteal or something. Just something that actually matters to us. Move speed will also be useful, so I'll take that. There we go. We'll buy the mouse, and that means that our damage and lifesteal are both better. Vigilante ring will just not have time to be worth picking up, so we won't. Sunglasses. I'm actually going to buy this. This will take us down to 17 armor, but the 10% crit chance. Crit chance is one of the better ways to increase our DPS right now, because all of our other stats are very good. Gentle Alien, yep. Beanie, yep. Get to 20% move speed, and that'll help out with the bosses as well. Make sure we're hunting down and killing the brain bugs so that not too many buffed enemies are on the field. Explosion size would be nice since we have double rip and tear. We could actually be hitting more enemies with the rip and tear explosions. I hate it when they buff one of the healers like that. We just killed it, but because those guys are already fast and run all around the place, they can be very difficult to kill when a brain bug hits them with a buff. Although the most painful is when they buff a loot alien that you're trying to hunt down, and then they just become super fast and incredibly tanky. We at this point have enough defensive stats that I can just wade through piles of enemies basically with impunity. Here I will just take more luck, I think. I'm not going to bother re-rolling for more things. Bat is going to be good. Blood Leech is now good because we have all the bloody hands and stuff that really benefit from it. So we'll just buy everything here. Then I get a bunch of free re-rolls, actually. So I'll lock the Broken Mouth, take my re-roll, lock the Sunglasses, and take another re-roll. And then Mammoth, I think I will buy. 10 base damage on all our weapons is still really good, and the 5 regeneration also matters a lot as well. Yeah, we lose some move speed, which is, of course, a downside, but Mammoth is just a lot of the stats that we care about. One thing I wish YouTube would let you do is post a comment on a video before you set it public. You can't comment on private videos. And so when I've done something like, oops, I accidentally recorded a second chunky video, as I just did, it would be nice to be able to just put up a pinned comment saying, hey, yeah, I know I did this already, without having to jump in and do it as soon as the video goes live, because I've got other things to do at that time. Sure, I'll take the attack speed here. Cap my move speed, that's fine. We don't need more than 22 move speed. And then let's reroll, and I'll buy, I guess, just the attack speed. Buy all of this stuff and reroll, see if there's anything else cool we can get. Nothing else really, but some more attack speed from the Peaceful Bee is pretty nice, and this also gives us 5 Peaceful Bees. Always fun to get 5 Peaceful Bees. Let's reroll and see if there's anything fun. Ooh, Adrenaline would have been great for this character if we had found it earlier, but obviously we can't afford it at this point, and we could have gotten another leveled up Claw, a little more armor. Other than that, nothing too exciting that we're missing out on. I almost couldn't see the boss there under all the DPS numbers because we attack so fast. And they are dead. So there you go. That is one of the faster ways to kill the bosses. Claw will end up being tons of damage. I think it's a little harder than Fist for the Brawler. I think Fist is slightly easier. But Claw does give you a lot of synergies like the critical hit damage and stuff. And of course this build ended up incredible. Just massive damage at the end. Thanks to finding a bunch of, good stats and economy items and investing in attack speed, as well as finding 2 of the best just raw stat items in the game in Bloody Hand and Retrimation's Hoodie. Those 2 together are going to get you through just about every character, no matter what. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and of course, as always, if you have, feel free to leave a comment, like the video, and you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game content. We'll be back with the well-rounded, and then I'll do a roundup of my random run stats and everything, and talk about kind of what's next in terms of Brotato. Let me know what other games you'd like to see me play as well, or other game modes you would like to see in Brotato, or other games that you're interested in. Always looking out to see what is sort of next as we continue to progress the channel. Cheers, my friends, and I'll catch you next time.